the Ambazonian, pledge our loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who fought along we gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, fellow Ambazonians, wherever you may find yourself around the globe today, the 10th of December 2024. I am your humble servant, the Vice President of the Ambazonian Governing Council, Dr. Julius Nyih. 21 gun salute to all the boys and girls on ground zero. You have shown the enemy who owns the land. 21 gun salute for all of you in the dungeons of La République du Cameroun, for you in the dungeons of Norway, for all our displaced internally and externally. The days that you come back to homeland are drawing closer. I am here today to talk on 3 key issues. 1, to update you on the situation of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the leader of the War of Liberation. I'm here to inform you about the schemes that those seeking for relevance are trying to put in place. And some of those schemes are supported by Cameroon to dissuade you from pursuing your freedom, but also to negotiate within their own system the enablers and traitors that they have manufactured in Ambazonia. I'm also here to tell you about the recent moves by the international community and Cameroon to negotiate with Ambazonia. Fellow countrymen and women, I am happy and proud of the resilience of the forces on the ground, of your resilience as civilians, and the support that you have provided the boys and girls defending your independence declared, for the sacrifices and support you provide for our diplomacy, our community mobilization, and for the support you provide for the defense of those incarcerated both in La République and in Norway. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba extends his deep appreciation for all you do for his legal bill to be paid. We thank you all far and wide within the organization, within the Ambazonian community, for standing firm to injustice, to the arrest of the CIC for crimes he didn't commit. With respect to that legal battle we are fighting on, the legal team that you helped us put in place submitted an appeal against his continuous detention up to the 14th of January. Last Friday, that appeal was rejected by the Norwegian Appeal Court. And the Norwegian Appeal Court also placed restrictions on their decision to be made public. They also placed restrictions on the appeal itself that was submitted by the lawyers from being given to us or being made public. The reasons for keeping Dr. Cho are politically motivated between Cameroon and Norway. The reasons for his continuous detention and placing a ban on the releasing of the documents surrounding his appeal and the appeal decision confirms to us the false pretext under which Dr. Cho was arrested, reveals to us the false pretext under which his detention is being continuously extended. In the Norwegian legal system, just as in European legal frameworks, all legal matters that are before the court have public access. But in this case, even the charges, the plaintiff, the appeal, the refusal of the appeal has been placed under restrictions. This goes further to tell you how deep the Norwegian state will go in order to protect its interests, in order to pursue new interests with Cameroon. This is not about human rights. The arrest of Dr. Cho Ayaba is not about human rights. It's not about violence against people. It's about the protection of Norwegian interests. It's about Cameroon offering concessions to Norway in order for Norway to serve its purpose. Lest you forget, the Norwegian legal system is somewhere between the common law and the civil law system. It's a system whereby, synonymous to the Cameroonian legal system, you can arrest somebody for suspicion of a crime and keep that person for years under the pretext of investigation. So in the Norwegian legal system, you are somehow found guilty until proven otherwise. And Norway prides itself and its system of protecting human rights. In a nutshell, we are working with another legal team in order to take Norway to the European Court of Human Rights, because what is happening is a deep infringement on the rights of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, because not only such restrictions have been placed, Dr. Cho has not been allowed to know who is the plaintiff in the case. Dr. Cho has not been provided evidence against him that allowed the Norwegian police to arrest, detain, and continuously investigate him. Dr. Cho Lucas has access to his direct family, nonetheless. He is not held incommunicado since week 1. He has access to his lawyers and others that are directly involved in the case. But there is a total blackout by the system on any information regarding his detention or otherwise. But what we know is that Cameroon had demanded that Norway brings the head of Dr. Cho on a platter. In return, Cameroon were going to give concessions to Norway. And in the international diplomacy, in international systems, interest and power triumphs over human rights, and it is being exhibited by Norway. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba is a defender of the right of people to self-determination. He is a defender of human rights for the Ambazonian people. because Cameroon on the 30th of November 2017, through its genocidal leader, Paul Biya, declared war on the Ambazonian people. And in the absence of any mechanism to protect the Ambazonian people from annihilation, in the absence of the international system to invoke the right to self-defense, the responsibility to protect against genocide, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba encouraged his people to defend themselves from forced occupation, from an unjust war declared upon them, from massive killings, helicopter gunships, and degradation of their own human rights by Cameroon. We will fight this legal battle as a people. We will leave no stone unturned. We will make sure that Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba is given the justice that he deserves. We have initiated and will continuously do so all legal frameworks and legal institutions necessary to make sure that Cameroon's and Norway's plan will fail, and that the day Dr. Cho emerges from the dungeons in Norway under the pretext of a crime he never committed, a crime they've not found for the last 2.5 months, he will emerge victorious. We are pretty sure of that. Secondly, Cameroon knew that by taking Dr. Cho Ayaba away, Ground Zero was going to be quiet. But in the last 2 weeks alone, Cameroon has witnessed the offensive moves of the Ambazonian forces. Cameroon has seen that the determination of the Ambazonian people is unwavered. Cameroon has seen that if they lock up Siseko Ayub Tabe and his colleagues, if they lock up Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, or any other leader that is still out, including myself, that is not going to stop the Ambazonian people from pursuing their freedom through self-defense actions, a civil disobedience, and other initiatives that undermine Cameroon's military occupation. Cameroon knew that we were going to turn our attention to the case of Dr. Cho and forget about Ground Zero, forget about communication. In that way, Cameroon could sell the false notion of return to normalcy. Cameroon has initiated, through traitors and enablers in Ambazonia, schemes such as the calls for negotiation for a federation or calls for negotiation for some sort of autonomy. Let me make this clear to all the Asongos, to all those out there parading talks of autonomy, federation, and so on. As Ambazonians, you cannot go to Cameroon begging. Cameroon has no right to offer Ambazonia anything with regards to self-determination, federation, or whatever. We will ask it by force or by negotiations. You cannot negotiate from a position of weakness. We will negotiate as we did in Canada, as we did in Switzerland, from a position of strength. And once we are too powerful, as we have been with Cameroon, Cameroon would simply say no negotiations took place. You cannot, for seeking relevance, manufacture organizations, manufacture platforms. You cannot do the same things that you did 6, 7, 5, 4 years ago and hoping for a different outcome. You cannot call conclave upon conclave, create platforms upon platforms, call Cameroon and beg them for autonomy, and they give you safe heaven to stay and save special status. Ambazonians will negotiate from a position of strength, and those fighting for Ambazonia will negotiate for Ambazonia. Cameroon knows that. So all of you out there parading schemes, parading platforms, institutions to talk on behalf of the Ambazonian people, don't be deceived. Nobody, no organization will again deceive the Ambazonian people for their own relevance. No organization, no person, especially traitors, enablers, and self-made elites, those sent by Cameroon, will come and stand to talk on behalf of Ambazonia. The Ambazonian people at the right time will come and decide their own fate. Thirdly, I wish to notify the Ambazonian people that the international system has reached out to the Hague of Sea. Cameroon has also reached out to the Hague of Sea to explore ways by which we can start discussions. We have told them that we've learned from experience that Cameroon, when they lose on the negotiation table, they will turn and deny the facts. We have asked them to reach to us through third parties, international recognized states, and provide them guarantees that when those states would engage in negotiations between Ambazonia and Cameroon, Cameroon will keep its own side of the bargain, because we know for sure that, as we did in Canada, we will form an alliance that will negotiate on behalf of Ambazonia, and we will win for Ambazonia, and Cameroon will be defeated. But Cameroon will still turn around if there are no such guarantees and said no such negotiations took place. And as such, my people, Cameroon is shaking. The international system is looking for solutions. They want to talk to you. They should provide us guarantees that they are not going to run away. They should provide guarantees that they will respect the outcomes of the negotiations. Once they do so, Ambazonia has always been ready to negotiate, because we know we hold the yam and the knife. It's Cameroon that has been running from negotiations or has been denying negotiations that Cameroon initiates itself. So for this time, for us to go into any negotiations, Cameroon must give guarantees, and Cameroon must go through a third party and give those guarantees that invoke the right for support for self-determination if Cameroon negates on its commitment during the negotiations and after the negotiations. Fellow Ambazonians, Cameroon is defeated. Cameroon is on the run. We are not only engaging in defensive actions on the ground, we are engaging in offensive actions. Cameroon soldiers are demoralized. They have openly told their hierarchy, régler les problèmes avec les Ambazoniens. That is what they told at Tanganji. We have the insights. They told their governing elites that the issue with Ambazonia is a political issue, and to send them to go and die for issues that they could resolve politically is of no need. And as such, they are dropping their guns and bullets. We are collecting them. Some of them are selling to us, and they are demoralized. They are no more fighting. They are hunkered in their barracks, in their bunkers. Governors can only parade our streets in armored cars. Infiltrators, enablers can only visit our towns with escorts and in armored cars. They cannot freely move. We are under a military occupation, but we are pushing them back. We will win the war because time is on our side. We will fight Cameroon as long as it takes, but we are optimistic that the day of reckoning for Ambazonia is coming near. The day that Ambazonia will tear Cameroon, pack out, leave our land with your tails in between your legs as a defeated dog is coming. Fellow Ambazonians, with the egg of sea, shake in no day. We will stand our ground. We will defend our people. It doesn't matter how many leaders are jailed. We will do it to the last man standing. Hail, hail this land of glory.
Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who fought the lonely gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.